Oh, the horror. The horror. This is part of series of the videos spanning the decades of horror cinema from 1920s to 2022s. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horror movies of all time.
I saw none.
Which horror movies scares you the most? Be sure to sound off in the comments below and make sure to subscribe the channel to never miss a video. Alright, let's get spooked. Number 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. While the top 4 movies on this list collectively garnered 42% of the total votes counted, they were followed by 6 films that all earned around 3% of the vote each. In other words, these last 6 films were separated by no more than 60 votes. The first of them is this low-budget slasher directed and co-written by Tobe Hooper, very loosely inspired by the crimes of Ed Gein. Texas Chainsaw's grimy aesthetic helped lend it an air of authenticity, which made it all the more frightening, and the massive, menacing presence of Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface paved the way for other brutes like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Number 4. The Shining. Literally dozens of Stephen King's novels and stories have been adapted for the big screen, and several of those films are considered classics today, like Carrie, Misery, and Pet Sematary, but the mother of them all is easily Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of The Shining. A marvel of set and production design and a genuinely unnerving take on the traditional haunted house story, The Shining features a host of memorable images and an iconic Jack Nicholson performance. Experience the Jack Torrance's slow descent into madness. It's rightfully considered one of the greatest horror films ever made, and it ranked 4th. Number 3. The Conjuring. James Wan has staked out a place among the modern masters of horror, directing films like Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious, and this inspired by true events chiller based on the experiences of real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, best known for their work on the strange case that inspired the Amityville horror movies, were portrayed by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who grounded the effective jump scares and freak-out moments with a believable world weariness. Together, Wan and his co-leads found fresh terror in familiar genre tropes. Number 2. Hereditary. Writer-director Ari Aster made a huge splash with his feature directorial debut, a dark family drama about the nature of grief couched within a supernatural horror film. Toni Collette earned a spot in the pantheon of great Oscar snubs with her slowly ratcheted up to 11 performances bedeviled Mother Annie, but the movie's biggest shock came courtesy of, well, we won't spoil that here. Suffice it to say Hereditary struck such a nerve with moviegoers that it instantly turned Aster into a director to watch and shot up to 2nd place on our list. Number 1. The Exorcist. You may not agree that The Exorcist is the scariest movie ever, but it probably also isn't much of a surprise to see it at the top of our list, with a whopping 19% of all the votes cast. William Friedkin's adaptation of the eponymous novel about a demon-possessed child and the attempts to banish that demon became the highest-grossing R-rated horror film ever and the first to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, but outside of its critical and commercial bona fides, the film is well known for the mass hysteria it inspired across the country, from protests over its controversial subject matter to widespread reports of nausea and fainting in the audience.